Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Dozens of deaths have been reported in Gaza as the top US diplomat Antony Blinken warns of further casualties on a visit to Israel. The Hamas-run health ministry says 57 deaths were reported in one central Gaza hospital alone. Deaths were also reported in the north of the Strip. Israel says it targeted Hamas sites across Gaza from air and sea in the past 24 hours. In Khan Yunis in the south, Israel says it eliminated 40 terrorists and found Hamas tunnels and weapons. After meeting Israeli President Isaac Herzog, Blinken's team says he emphasized the need to take all feasible precautions to minimize harm to civilians.
I will press on the absolute imperative to do more to protect civilians and to do more to make sure that humanitarian assistance is getting into the hands of those who need it. We'll also, of course, focus on our relentless efforts to bring back the hostages, Americans, Israelis, and others.
Taiwan authorities say that a Chinese satellite has flown over southern Taiwan's airspace. Mobile phone users across the country received an air raid alert warning them to be aware for your safety. Taiwan's defense ministry said the satellite was launched off the Xizang Satellite Launch Center in China's Sichuan province. Taiwan said its defense ministry is tracking the trajectory of the satellite to appropriately alert and respond to the situation. Meanwhile, South Korea has passed a new law which aims to end the slaughter and selling of dogs for their meat by 2027. The law aims to end the centuries-old practice of eating dog meat. Dog meat has fallen out of favour with diners over the past few decades. Under the law, raising or slaughtering dogs for consumption will be banned, as will distributing or selling dog meat. Those found guilty of doing so could be sent to jail. Security forces in the Democratic Republic of Congo briefly surrounded the home of the main opposition politician Moise Katumbi, who came second in last month's disputed elections. He was prevented from leaving his home in southern Katanga province on Monday, but the security forces later withdrew on the orders of a local governor. Mr. Katumbi has rejected President Felix Tshisekedi's landslide victory in last month's election as a sham. A neo-Nazi who killed 77 people in Norway in 2011 is suing the country in a bid to end his years in isolation. Anders Breivik, who killed 8 people with a car bomb in Oslo and shot dead 69 people at a summer youth camp, says his conditions breach his human rights. Norway's justice minister said he must be kept separate from the prison population over security concerns. Breivik's lawyers told a court the 44-year-old no longer wishes to live. Breivik was sentenced to 21 years, the maximum penalty a court in Norway can impose, though it can be extended for as long as he is deemed a threat for carrying out the attacks on the 2nd of July 2011. The American company that launched a mission on Monday to try to soft land on the moon says it may not be able to control its spacecraft for much longer.
We have ignition and liftoff of the first United Launch Alliance Vulcan rocket.
Pittsburgh-based Astrobotic is fighting a fuel leak from its Peregrine lander, which is making it hard to maintain stable pointing of the spacecraft. Mission life could now be measured in just hours, the firm said. A touchdown on the lunar surface, the first for the US in half a century, is no longer possible. The 1.2-ton lander was launched from Cape Canaveral in Florida with the intention of landing on the moon's northern hemisphere in late February. And Tiger Woods and sportswear giant Nike have ended their long-term partnership after more than 27 years.
The return to glory.
The 15-time major golf champion has used the brand's products and equipment since he turned professional in 1996. Nike said it was an honor to partner with one of the greatest athletes the world has ever seen. The deal became one of the most lucrative partnerships in sports history. Becoming one of the world's most famous sports stars, Woods signed multiple further deals with Nike over his career, including a 10-year contract worth a reported $200 million. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.